Alright, so this is going to be the list of supplies you need. And for the folders, I like to use the ones with the center tab because it's easier to trim off those little edges and keep the middle tab. And then the 3 lines down the middle is where you're going to use for your spine. You can use just 1 line. I like to use all 3 for a bigger spine, of course. But up to you what you want to do there. So once you have your spine decided on, we're going to trim down 3 folders just to get the little edges off and to whatever height you want it. Just make sure you keep all 3 lined up nicely so that that center tab stays consistent. Alright, so now we're going to layer the second folder on top of your original, and that also helps thicken up the spine a little bit more. I prefer double-sided tape and a little bit of wet glue. It's a little cleaner and the glue doesn't seep out the edges. And then when you use the double-sided tape with the wet glue, then you can still move it around a little. It doesn't lock in right away. And then if you make a mistake, you can still maneuver it versus being stuck. So that's just how I do it, but use whatever works best for you and what supplies you do have. Okay, so for the third one, we're going to just trim off right before that third line, the third little score line. And we're going to put that on the back so that we have the tabs on the front and back and they are like equal in height and line up together nicely. And then on the third, I'm going to show you how I add a page in. Basically, I just add a 1/2 inch tab to the folder. And then glue it onto the page you want it. Line it up however you want. That's the fun part. You can stagger them a little bit. They don't have to be perfect height. So that's the white one. Now let's get to adding our own spine using the black folders. Okay, so again, I like using the center folder for this one. It's just easier to trim it down, keeping that center tab. So starting off, only trim down 2 for now. You will need more, but you only need 2 for this part. Here I'm just marking how wide I want my spine from the center score line. You can do whatever size you want. I went with 2. Cut where you marked it. Save those pieces you cut off too though, because we will use those. And you're going to do the same thing on your second one as well. I'm lining mine up together right at that second score line. I'm just using a thicker double-sided tape. I'm trimming down 2 more to start adding the inside pages. Alright, so I'm going to trim this one directly down the middle, so there's the little score line on each side for tabs. I placed this one in the center right on the spine, and then using one of the scrap ones, you're going to cut off an inch to use to make another tab. We're going to score it right down the middle. Here you can see I'm just putting that tab on the side of one of the other folders that was trimmed down. Okay, so that second part is going to be like a hinge, and we're going to glue that onto the spine on the opposite side, just to add more pages, and it does thicken up the spine a little bit too. Alright, so this one I'm just using the other piece we cut in half of the file folder to add an additional page in. Here I'm really just showing how I measure my next folder that I'm going to trim down. And on this one we want to leave an additional 1/2 inch after the 3 lines and cut the rest off. So you can see how there's an extra tab next to the 3 lines. And that's where I'm gluing this one in, and that is so that this file page is taller and it lines up better with my the backing. Now I'm just making another tab, hinge, whatever you want to call it, works as a hinge, technically a tab, I don't know. Adding that to that piece that I cut off, just so I can show you how to add another page in. I swear by these erasers still, I love them. I wish I found them sooner. So I'm just adding in that last page, using that tab I made as a hinge. That's really the gist of it. How you add the pages in, make your spine. I will show in the next video how to add in the elastic if you want to add a removable journal to the inside center part of it. If you have any questions, as always, don't hesitate.